Sorry guys. I was just having a minor heart attack because, oh my God! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard already, I'm sure you've heard, because have you been living under a rock? Two big blockbuster trades have been made today in the NBA and in Major League Baseball, both by LA teams and both happening within a span of maybe 20 to 30 minutes. So guys, today we're not going to have time for a green screen. We're not going to have time to, prepare anything. I'm just saying this right out of the blue. This is my raw reaction as a Lakers and a Dodger fan. So I was pretty much just at the gym having a good workout, right? I'm in between sets, right? Checking my phone, and I heard earlier in the day, we're starting off with basketball first. I hear earlier in the day that the Lakers are interested in acquiring Russell Westbrook. I hear that they're nearing a deal, right? And I just hear that they're nearing a deal. I don't know if that's going to happen, when it would be announced, but it turns out it happened. Like around 6 o'clock, I was in between sets. I was blown away, and it's crazy. We got Russell Westbrook. Now, initially, you would think, well, this is just another super team and stuff. But the biggest thing is we got rid of Kyle Kuzma. We got rid of Montrezl Harrell. And KCP, really good player. But you can't just give up nobodies. You got to give up someone who's good. And then a first-round pick. But overall, we did get rid of the guys that we needed to get rid of that weren't really having an impact anymore. It is unfortunate losing a first-round pick because for the Lakers, they're not super young. They're very much built for the now, with LeBron being in his late 30s, Russell Westbrook about to turn 33 coming into this season, and Anthony Davis is young. I believe he's 28. So overall, it's kind of like what the Nets did. They have 3 superstars, but the rest of the team, the depth, it's going to be tested. We do have THT, Talen Horton-Tucker, so hopefully maybe he turns out to be a good young guy. But it's not like the Lakers had any young guys to begin with. They had a lot of decent volume, like no high ceiling guys. So for what we had, we got a really good player who I think is definitely going to make us better considering who we traded. So for the Lakers, it's a great win now move. We needed a point guard. We needed someone to take the ball out of LeBron's hands. And yes, Russell Westbrook may be taking the ball a little bit too much out of LeBron's hands, but you know what? It's okay. Overall, it's a great deal. So that blew me away. But then 20 minutes later, I'm on the treadmill at the gym, okay? And I'm just looking through my phone because it's my warm down, cool down. I'm walking at a brisk pace, but not too brisk of a pace to check my phone, right? I check my phone, and I know that the Dodgers have been in on several different pitchers. I've been hearing things about, of course, Max Scherzer, Jose Barrios, and earlier today we got Danny Duffy, and I think he'll be a good bullpen piece. And I've just been hearing about all these different trades. Earlier in the day, I heard that the Padres were nearing a deal for Max Scherzer. So I think, we missed out on him. Maybe we can just pick up some other guy. But yeah, the biggest acquisition on the market, especially for pitching, was clearly Max Scherzer. And all of a sudden, while I'm at the gym, about 20 minutes earlier, I hear the report that the Dodgers all of a sudden are closing in on a deal for Max Scherzer. They essentially are stealing him away from the Padres. And about 20 minutes later, they got Max Scherzer, and not only do they get Max Scherzer, they get Trey Turner. I mean, this is like the blockbuster trade of blockbuster trades. Getting either one of those guys was a big acquisition, but getting both of them is ridiculous. It's insane. For Max Scherzer coming to the Dodgers, obviously being 37 years old and still having a lot of game left, it clearly is a win now decision. I don't know if he's going to be a rental. Maybe they can find a way to extend him, but overall, he adds a key rotation piece to the Dodgers because obviously it doesn't seem likely that Trevor Bauer's coming back this year, and at least definitely not for a while, but in all likelihood not this year at all, because I've been hearing reports that Trevor Bauer doesn't even want to be welcomed back by his teammates. So overall, he's a great replacement for Trevor Bauer. But guys, in all likelihood, not only is he a replacement for Trevor Bauer, but he's also, according to most MLB fans, including myself, I believe he's an upgrade over Trevor Bauer. So we got that rotation piece that we desperately needed, because when everyone's healthy, Buehler, Urias, Kershaw, those 3 are great, but we need that 4th guy, because in the playoffs, it would really be helpful to have 4 really good starters and not just 3. And with Urias being young and not used to starting playoff games, it's not like he's a guaranteed 3 and a guy who's been there. So Scherzer gives us that dominant 1, 2, 3 when everyone's healthy. And more importantly, honestly, I think he's an even bigger, or just as big of a trade acquisition just for the remainder of the regular season, because we are 3 games behind the Giants in the pennant race. So he's a great acquisition for that in order to catch up to the Giants, stay afloat. And honestly, compensate for the injuries that we've had to our rotation. David Price, you know, he's good, but I don't think he's going to be built up to a full-time starter. Tony Gonsolin's fine, but Josiah Gray, you know, we had pretty much 2 bona fide starters, and until Kershaw comes back, we have 3 guys who don't really give you much length. Our bullpen's being taxed, so this was a great trade because the reason why the Dodgers bullpen is bad, or not nearly as good as it normally is I don't think it's because of a lack of talent. It's a combination of injuries and just being asked to do so much more than they normally do. They have to go a lot of innings on days where Urias and Buehler don't start because you're mainly only going to get 3, 4, 5 innings from the other 3 starters. But with that being said, for all of you who aren't Dodger fans and are upset at what has happened, saying, oh, Major League Baseball's broken, how can they not have a salary cap, how can the Dodgers get away with this? I agree that the Dodgers are a broken team on paper right now. But we did give up our top 2 prospects. We did give up Keibert Ruiz, and we did give up Josiah Gray. And for us, I don't think that we need those 2 guys because Will Smith looks to be our catcher of the present and the future, and Keibert Ruiz is a catcher, so he doesn't seem to have a lot of room to dominate in the major leagues, at least for the Dodgers. And then Josiah Gray seems to be a great pitcher because he was getting a lot of strikeouts in those innings, those few innings that he's pitched this year. But overall, we have plenty of good starting pitching, so I think it's actually a good deal for both teams. For the Nationals to reload, rebuild, they get 2 top prospects that could definitely be star caliber players. But the one player that I actually think I'm the most excited about is not Russell Westbrook, and it's not Max Scherzer. I'm actually, and it might be an unpopular opinion, I'm the most excited about getting Trey Turner because we don't know if Corey Seager's coming back in the offseason, or this offseason. He might not re-sign with the Dodgers. I hope he does. But in the event that he doesn't, worst comes to worst, you do have another shortstop who could be your shortstop of the present and the future. I'm a huge Trey Turner fan. He's a terrific player. You guys all know that. He was an all-star this year. And I'm just excited because he's almost 10 years younger than Scherzer. So ideally, if you can sign him long term and you can get him for the present and for the long foreseeable future, kind of like Mookie Betts. So I'm actually more excited about him. You get another great right-handed bat in the lineup until Seager comes back and Mookie Betts will come back. But once everyone comes back, it is a stacked roster, guys. I'm just going to pull up what the roster would look like in terms of their everyday lineup. In all likelihood, their everyday rotation. It just looks great. And even if the Dodgers don't win the division, they definitely look like a contending team if they can get out of that wild card game. But I do think this trade will allow them to win the division. But guys, I definitely understand why, if you're not a Dodger fan, you're upset about this, and that's okay. I would be upset if I weren't a Dodger fan because the Dodgers, I mean, their roster is just stacked now, and as a fan, you can only be excited. But if you're not a fan, you're going to be upset about it that they somehow pulled this off and they just have such a good roster. It looks like an all-star roster. So I get that. So let me know your opinions in the comments. If you're upset about this, how you feel about it. I love to hear all your opinions, and I understand if you're upset. I get it. I resonate with it. Like if the Yankees, by the way, they did get Joey Gallo and Anthony Rizzo, but if they pulled off a very similar trade, I'd be like, how could they get away with this? Or if the Padres did it, I'd be like, oh, this is ridiculous. So I get it, but I just got to give some credit to Andrew Friedman, our general manager, because he does do a great job of pulling off great trades. And so for the stretch run, I'm very excited for the long-term future with Trey Turner if he decides to stay. If Trey Turner's a long-term acquisition, that sounds really exciting. So guys, I'm really excited as a Dodger fan. My mind's blown. My heart was beating. My asthma was really putting my life in danger. Slightly. But yeah, it's been a great day, and I just had to make this video on the spot because it really is a historic day in LA history. We make 2 blockbuster trades in a span of 20 minutes. I don't know if they were the Rob Pelinka was calling Andrew Friedman saying, you know, we got to just blow up all of LA and just make the craziest trade. I don't know what it is, but I was just in shock, and it's going to be a good rest of the season for the Dodgers and good next season for the Lakers, and I'm just a happy fan, you know? I just had to make this video. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your opinions on the trade in the comments below. Subscribe if you're a big sports fan, because this channel is definitely for you. I always love and appreciate all your support, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Hopefully keep that heart rate down, and I'm going to try to do that, you know, some slow breathing, because I am excited. All right, guys, you have yourselves a great day.